Fireworks are happening this week. Will it go up or down? Let's look into this. The economy has some huge problems that no one wants to talk about. In today's movie, we're going to talk about them. Markets could drop at any moment now. Is that all right? It's like a house of cards that's going to fall down. We're going to discuss my case for why this could be the week that finally causes the markets to move after an endless period of consolidation. First, let me say that there is a lot of news and a lot of changes going in the economy. US layoffs are on track to top levels seen during the great financial crisis. According to Newswire, the chance of a US decline in the next few years is about 1 in 3, according to this information from Polymarket. Okay, a lot of people are betting, so that's a pretty big number, over 30%. But I think it's going to get even bigger in the next few months. Also, US layoffs are on track to beat the levels seen during the great financial crisis, okay? It's going to be bigger than the great financial crisis that happened, okay? When this thing finally collapses, US consumers have almost never been this unhappy. Why? We received the consumer sentiment measure from Michigan. Right now, things are worse than they have been at any time since the 1930s. We're comparing the Great Depression. So we're comparing today's economy to the one during the Great Depression, correct? That's how bad it is, everyone. And everyone thinks that's okay, right? There will be no crash. There will be, for sure, it could start at any moment. And that's the thing. No one really knows the answer, right? And that's what people want to know. Look at where we are now compared to the 2008 financial crisis and the 1980s double dip slump, which was the worst right between the other two. Yes. So it turns out that the people's feelings aren't too great, guys. This is how we know things are getting very bad. The US Department of Labor's October Producer Price Index report was supposed to come out, but it was scrapped. Keep in mind that the inflation won't go away just because the report does. Yes? It doesn't matter what kind of trickery they cause. It's taking place. It's happening, right? It's not on anyone's mind. They could change the facts or the timing of the announcement, okay? But I think either orgas or something else will cause something to fall. For people who are keeping track, Trump has canceled the numbers on jobs, GDP, and inflation. Everything's fine, right? So if they're canceling reports or messing with the numbers, right, all of this is delaying reports and other things. Take a moment to see if it's really okay. Not at all, okay? No, and that's why I'm about to tell you why I think the markets are going to dump right here in a moment. Yes? Nothing is okay, guys. But there's been a disconnect. The economy is doing badly, right? But the stock market is doing great with numbers and measures showing levels never seen before, right? What is this? What are some examples of these stocks and indexes? We're at new all-time highs, if not at all-time highs, right? Things are coming apart. It looks like the stocks don't care about this at all, right? The economy doesn't matter, but the music has to stop at some point, right? We're just going to keep going up and up. It will happen eventually. Can you tell when it will happen? The Federal Reserve is adding money to the banking system. Make sure you own things of value. Why? Because of some sort of cash problem with banks, right? Japan's rates are already going through the roof. Okay, everyone, isn't it true that all yields in the world, American bond rates, Japanese, EU, they got their own over there, guys. What's going on? Okay, so this is a clear message to everyone. So let's move on to talk about the Federal Reserve meeting this Wednesday. What happens at that meeting will set the tone for the markets this week and in the weeks to come. The Bank of Japan will make a choice on December 19th about whether to lower interest rates, keep them steady, or raise them, okay? The 10th and 19th of December are very important. From Crisis Response, Grant Cardone. 50 basis point rate cuts are on the way. Told you so. This person is saying that a 50 basis point rate cut is going to happen. You know, if this were to happen, by the way, that's an example of a white swan event, since nobody or not too many people are expecting a 50 basis point rate cut, most likely around 1%. If I were the Fed, I'd be cutting hundreds. I'm at least cutting 100. This is because they are late. They're not involved in what's going on at all, right? When you look at the market, something is going to break. But that's what the Federal Reserve has always been through, right? They're always involved in something, and when it finally falls apart, they quickly lower the rates in a crisis. Optimistic. 11 of 12 FOMC members think that there will be a 50 basis point rate cuts in 2 days. I have no idea how he found this information. I think this is false. People think that if this were to happen again, there would be an upward explosion. There was a federal ruling in December. The chance that the Fed will lower interest rates on Wednesday is now 94%. It could be less than 25 at the moment. I mean a rate cut of 50 basis points. There will most likely be a 25 basis point rate cut right here, folks, 87%. Okay, the market thinks the Fed will lower. The question is whether or not the price has already taken it into account. Most likely, guys, right? The stocks, not the cryptos, have been pumping, which is why I think we're pumped. Now, let me see. So that means that people with inside information were anticipating the rate cuts before they happened. So when this does come true, the markets will sell because you usually buy the story and then you make money off the news. Okay, so today's video is going to look into that as well as what I believe will happen in the next few days, correct? Just looking at the charts, I don't need to see anything else. Looking at charts is usually a way to tell what will happen in the future, correct? And with white or black swans, it doesn't matter what the case is. So what is this? Tomorrow, in 16 hours, a very important day, okay? The market thinks that the Fed will make cuts, and that is probably true. So will we stay neutral and go sideways forever, or will we pump or dump? We'll look at this picture of NASDAQ. What does the stock market have to do with this? So because cryptos are a bit strange at the moment. All right, the way that crypto prices change is really strange. Just look at Bitcoin and XRP right here. Isn't it basically going sideways through the stock market NASDAQ decoupling? The decoupling has lasted for weeks, during which time stocks have risen to their previous all-time high, correct? If it isn't reaching new highs. Okay, so if we look at the daily chart, we can figure out what's going to happen this Wednesday, right? The RSI is being used in the daily time frame, correct? This is basically a sign that I think a dump will happen, everyone. Lastly, if it happens, it's better because that means the bandage will be ripped off instead of them just putting it off for a few more months. It's best to just do what you need to do and get it over with. And this is the best result before we V-shape salvage out of the dump. What do we see here when we look at the NASDAQ's RSI? It made a V-shaped rate, but what is the RSI showing? It's bent. It's beginning to bend, isn't it? It hasn't been verified. It is proven. So when we go below this yellow line on the RSI, a deep dump happens, correct? Take a look. Every time we have gone below this yellow moving line on the RSI, correct? Go across that line. These are all dumps, aren't they? More poop has been dropped, let's say, right? And each time it has bounced back, which is what Donald Trump wants, right? And cryptos have not been following though, but that's not why cryptocurrencies haven't been following stocks. When the time comes, cryptocurrencies will go straight up, right? That's not what stocks will do. Okay, so here's the deal. The RSI is beginning to move down now that we look at it.